Hello, everyone. Today is Friday, December 20th. The time is around 11 a.m. Pacific, and the temperature is 50 degrees Fahrenheit here in Mountain View, California. And welcome back, everyone, to the West Coast Walker channel. My name's Robert, and today we are in the heart of Silicon Valley at the famous Googleplex, Google's headquarters. Let's go explore. As we're looking at what they call the Gradient Canopy building here. They've got a visitor center, a Google store, and a coffee shop here where visitors can hang out, grab a bite to eat, grab a coffee, and sort of learn a little bit more about Google. You can also buy all their Google phones and products there. As you see some of the cool bikes that they have here. So they've got a ton of bikes here that anyone can use to get around the campus. As you see a little bit of a map here, and it's called the Gradient Canopy, this building, and there are many other buildings on campus, I believe. Well, I mean, there are, so let's go look around. We're gonna stay outdoors, not gonna be able to really go inside any of these buildings. Just because it's obviously a very highly secure technology company, one of the greatest software companies in the world, one of the greatest companies that's ever been invented, in my opinion. Google is not just known for their amazing search engine, but boy, have they come up with some amazing software over the years, over the last 25-30 years, however long they've been in business. I can't remember exactly when Google was founded. I believe it was around 97, 98. Obviously they own YouTube as well, so all my friends here who are watching YouTube can thank the great company of Google. They didn't create YouTube, I believe they acquired YouTube. We're here in the beautiful city of Mountain View, one of the sort of picturesque Silicon Valley cities, along with Palo Alto and Cupertino, Menlo Park and Sunnyvale. We're obviously in the heart of the technology industry, the U.S. and global technology industry. We have a very interesting sculpture here. Not sure what that's all about, but I'll give you guys a better look at it. Oh, it's almost invisible. Wow, okay. That is so weird. And then on an angle it appears more real. It's a very full-figured woman, one might say. They call this the Gradient Canopy just because it has a very interesting rooftop, which it's hard to see it from here, but you can see it on if you look up Gradient Canopy, it'll show you a nice view of the entire building. We've got a bear sculpture here. And a very large sort of spherical sculpture here, which looks cool. And then we've got this one too. So as you can see, there's some fancy art here on the campus of Google. Not sure if there's much down that way. Let's head down this main drag here. As you can see, the interesting design they have here on the roof, right? It looks real cool with these sort of curved structures. It's a very large building with this sort of roof. Very unique roof design. Across the way is the amphitheater, the Mountain View. I believe it's the Mountain View Amphitheater. Those large white tent-like structures where they have like outdoor concerts and whatnot. So this large canopy building has the visitor experience, and I believe there's also offices and whatnot in there, but I'm going to try and find some more buildings. I must admit I know nothing about the Google campus here, what they call the Googleplex. Google's an interesting word. How did they get the name Google from, you might ask? Well, the word Google is a word. It was a word before Google took the name, but it's spelled differently. It's Googol. So the word Google, Googol, this spelled differently than this Google, means, it's a mathematical term, and it means 10 to the power of 100. So a number that has 100 zeros. 100 zeros. Very, very large number. And there's also another word called Googleplex. Googolplex, Googleplex, which means 10 to the power of a Google. Okay, so a 1 with a Google number of zeros, if you can imagine that. So you take a Google, which is 1 to the power of 100, that's like a massive number, much more than a billion or a trillion or a quadrillion, way bigger than any of those numbers. And then you take that many zeros and you add it to a 1, and that's how big a Googleplex is. So it's basically the biggest number you can think of, except for infinity, really. I mean, it pretty much it's pretty much like the biggest number you can think of. Obviously, there are bigger numbers. You can just add 1 to that, but But in terms of a number having a name, Googleplex is as big as it gets. And so I think the founders of Google just liked the word Google. They decided to spell it differently, Google, which is, I guess, is a little bit more intuitive in terms of the spelling. And maybe looks a little bit better in terms of the word itself. Easier to pronounce too, because Google, Googol. You could some people may pronounce it Google, but when you spell it this way, it's pretty obvious how it's pronounced. And so that's where they got the name from. It's nerdy for sure, but you know, I think the people who founded Google, that would be Larry Page and Sergey Brin, the famous founders of Google, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Larry did most of the work. They were nerds, you know, so they were obviously nerds. So they named their company after some sort of a bit of a nerdy mathematical term. As we head into this beautiful park here, I think I see some more buildings there. Perhaps the main office campus up there. So let's go check it out while we see this gorgeous park here for the employees and to enjoy. I believe anyone could come here and enjoy it. Here in the gorgeous city of Mountain View, California. I'm not seeing too many mountains from here, but I believe there is a view of the Santa Cruz Mountains somewhere from this town. You see a large hill there, and those very nice amphitheater domes there. And this looks like a really nicely landscaped garden here. Beautiful waterfall. I can smell the fresh cut grass. You can see they've just cut the grass here, and I can smell that fresh cut grass. Oh, what a smell. What a smell that is. I love it. And this looks like a very nicely terraced garden. Multiple waterfalls. As you can see, the beautiful canopy building there. They call it the gradient canopy. I feel like the word gradient is also a mathematical term that they perhaps used. The word gradient is definitely a mathematical term. It's used in calculus. And so you can see the beautiful design of that roof there. This is a very picturesque area here in the heart of Silicon Valley. As we see the beautiful Google sign there on that building. The very recognizable logo. Are we allowed to walk around the Google campus without a badge? Okay. Okay. This is the campus here, right? Yeah. Okay. So you're not even allowed to walk around outdoors. Okay. Unfortunately, they're not allowing us to walk around the campus there. without a badge. As you see, all the bikes here parked that they use for getting around. Let's do a little more exploring here. I certainly wouldn't attempt to go inside any of these buildings, but if I can sort of get a sneak peek of the outside, I'll take my chances. I have no idea what the rules are. I assumed we were allowed to walk around outside, but I guess not. Makes sense. I mean, they've got a lot of secret stuff going on in here, developing all the latest high technology. Obviously, they're not just a software company, they do make hardware as well. Google Pixel phones. Cute little vehicle here. Famous Google colors, blue, green, yellow, and red. Let's see what's up here. Badge access as well, but we can maybe walk in front of this building and see what it looks like. You can see across the street they have a beautiful hilly area out there where you can hang out and chill. And these are just some offices here at the Googleplex. And I'm sure I look very suspicious, but you know. Someone does come, I'll take my chances. Parking lot with chargers here. Let's check it out. Let's go this way. See if we can see some interesting buildings. I don't know if Google doesn't have any. They have that beautiful canopy building that I showed you. They don't really have anything like how Apple has the that huge sort of UFO style headquarters. But that canopy building that I showed you earlier, I think, is probably the sort of signature building here on the campus, I assume. A lot of folks charging their Teslas here. It's a nice electric Kia. We have a nice building here for sure. This looks quite nice with that sort of rounded facade. Badge access only as well, so they've got heavy security here. But that is a very nice looking building right there. Let's see what's over on this side. So we can see some of the buildings, we just can't get too close. Mountain View is one of the first places where the tech revolution began here in Silicon Valley. And if you ever heard of Shockley, William Shockley, who founded Shockley Semiconductors. So we have like a creek here going through this area, but it looks pretty low, the water. Not much water in the creek. William Shockley was kind of the sort of the godfather of Silicon Valley in many ways. And he founded Shockley Semiconductor here in Mountain View back in the 50s. And things just started rolling from there. The people over at Stanford University, professors and researchers, had a lot to do with Silicon Valley. I believe William Shockley was a professor there, as well as other founders of different companies. As we see a beautiful building here. Very nice glass facade. And it looks like there's some beautiful palm trees over here we can check out. We love our palm trees here in the Bay Area. Palm trees are not native to the Bay Area, but they have planted a lot of palm trees around here. And they grow well. You can see how tall these guys are right here. These are some giant palm trees. There's so many different types of palm trees as well. It's a very large group of species. We've got a very nice courtyard here where you can hang out and eat your lunch and do whatever. Today's only 50 degrees, so no one's really out, and it's a Friday, so you know how Fridays are at the office, right? Pretty quiet usually. But we've got some gorgeous palm trees here. Some very nice, large, and beautiful palm trees here in this gorgeous courtyard. And you can see this building's very nice. It has all balconies throughout. Some of the buildings are accessible, it looks like, but some have badge access only. Totally makes sense. I mean, I work in the biotech industry, and we don't allow anybody in our building just to come and hang out. You know what I mean? We get too much sensitive work happening, as does Google. Certainly, they don't want spies from Microsoft coming in here and stealing their newest technology ideas. As we look back at this very nice courtyard and buildings here on the Google campus, the Googleplex. And we've got more bike racks for the bikes that everybody seems to be riding around. The campus is obviously large enough to require bikes. Let's go down these stairs. Are there more Google buildings that way? Are there any more Google buildings that way?
Yeah.
Keep going?
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm not sure where the campus ends. He said there's more buildings here, so let's keep walking, check it out. As you can see, it's quiet here in Mountain View. It's not, rocking and rolling. It's not like the Tenderloin in San Francisco or anything like that here. We're about 25-30 miles out of the city, out of San Francisco, like away from San Francisco, south of the city. So Silicon Valley is south of San Francisco, in between San Jose and San Francisco on the what we call the peninsula. San Jose is also on my list of places to visit. Haven't really been there before. Haven't done any videos there. I don't think I've even really been there before. Parking restricted here. It's an interesting creek. It has a very large tree growing in it. Oh, okay, this is called Permanente Creek. Permanente Creek, 1986. Okay, so this is a creek that goes through Mountain View, it looks like here. Yep, this is Google as well. So as you can see, it's a large campus. Like, we saw some pretty big buildings so far, and we're seeing another one right here in front of us, another massive building here. So I don't know how it's organized. I wonder what different departments they have in Google. I mean, I imagine they have a hardware department that focuses on their Pixel products. They probably have a very large software engineering group to focus on all of their different software products. I believe YouTube has its own headquarters somewhere. I'll have to go maybe visit YouTube one day.
Tu drives that blue Toyota.
Wait. Go check out these buildings over here, and then maybe we'll head back to the canopy. We'll see what's on the other side of the street, though, while we walk back and check out some of those buildings. I believe both sides of the street have Google buildings on them. Who knows what sort of technology they're discovering now in here. Can only imagine what kind of experts they have working on their famous algorithms. Algorithms nowadays are really the key to the technology companies. It's kind of like I guess Google's famous algorithm might be equivalent to KFC's famous recipe, you know what I mean? Or the ingredients to Coca-Cola. It's kind of the big trade secret is what is in those algorithms that all these tech companies are developing. And in fact, the street name is Google. We got the actual street name as Google. So maybe I'll cross the street and see what's on the other side over there. See if there's any interesting buildings to look at. (1625) Charleston Road. Wonder how old these buildings are, whether they were built before Google's era. Those look like they were probably here after Google came to this city, but I bet you there were some buildings that were already here, like some office buildings that Google may have taken over. Got a little bit of a cute Android statue there I can look at. Nice little chairs you can hang out in, although seem a bit small for adults. Maybe these are children's chairs. It's got this cute little android statue here. I believe there's more of those around the campus, although I'm not sure where. So we've got some interesting sculptures here as well. People doing acrobatics. And I believe that's also part of the campus. As you can see, it's a very large campus. And they've got some really nice trees here on campus here in Mountain View. Silicon Valley is fairly lush in terms of its vegetation. It's not quite as dry as San Francisco. These are gorgeous evergreen trees here.
Walk sign is on a cross. Okay. Walk sign is on a cross. Walk sign is on a cross.
So you can see it's a pretty campus. It has a lot of trees, a lot of vegetation. The buildings are very nice looking. They've got those cute little bikes that everybody's riding around on. Cute little android statues here and there. I believe there's more somewhere, I'm just not sure where. Got a creek running through the campus. So it's a chill place to work and hang out for sure. And I'll show you in a few minutes when we get there. They actually have a very large escalator that goes down to the parking lot. It's an outdoor escalator. It's pretty cool. Got a long bike trail here beside the creek. And I'm not sure how long this creek is or where it goes, but that's Permanente Creek right there. Seems to be a large field back there. So there's still some construction around here. probably building more buildings for their campus. It's one of those ever-growing companies, Google. They were built to grow. Truly one of America's most amazing institutions. So they've got a number of different architectural styles, it looks like, here on the campus. These buildings have an almost brutalist vibe to them. I'm not sure when they were built. They kind of feel like a 70s buildings, but maybe they look a bit newer than that. Perhaps they're much newer. I just decided to go with kind of a brutalist vibe. I like the Google logo. I don't know about you guys. You like the Google logo? A nice little soccer field here, which that grass looks real green, but it doesn't look like real grass. I think that's actually AstroTurf right there. Yeah, that soccer field is all AstroTurf. I'm not sure what the deal is with the bikes, if you can just like take one and park it wherever, or this is actually a park open to employees only. Okay, so this park is just for Google employees. So they have their own entire park to themselves here in Mountain View. Some folks are enjoying themselves in there. I don't know if you can hear that, but somebody scored something. They're playing, I think, either pickleball or tennis. I think it's pickleball because I'm hearing, yep, it's pickleball. You can hear that sound of the pickleball there. And I've never played pickleball myself, but they've got their own pickleball just for Google employees here, as well as a large soccer field. An actual full-size soccer field here. The one we saw earlier was just like a kid-size soccer field. And it looks like it might be an artificial turf there as well. I can't tell. It could be real grass. So nice campus because they have their own park that they can access. And so if you're working for Google, you're doing all right, I think, in life. I think you're doing all right. You get to come to quiet Mountain View every day. Enjoy this very nice campus. Enjoy the parkland. And probably receive a very high salary, as most Google employees would, I would imagine. And so it's really a great American company. You see this beautiful expanse of these rolling hills here. And I believe there's hiking and biking trails and whatnot there as well. Yeah, here's the bicycle and pedestrian trail here. So you can go explore this large hilly area here in Mountain View. I think we'll be back at the parking lot in a few minutes. I'll show you that cool escalator that they have outside. It's a bit of a hazy day today. And so, as you can see, Silicon Valley is a quiet and chill place where they accomplish a lot. They accomplish a lot here. They create so many interesting things in terms of technology. Oh man, I can't even think of what this world would be like if we didn't have all these tech companies. Well, I guess when I was born, we didn't really have all these tech companies, but we did have Apple and Microsoft. But well, Microsoft's actually not located in Silicon Valley. It's famously in Seattle. Apple is in Cupertino, California, which I may go there one day and do a video as well, but I don't know about accessing the campus. I'm not sure if you can kind of walk around freely like I did and show different buildings. Well, they have one main, almost UFO style building. You can see it on Google Maps. It's like a perfect circle. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I don't know how they designed that. I mean, but I don't think they allow any visitors over there. They're too protective of their technology. Really see the canopy building nicely now from here. Of course, the big technology in the last few years that has been sort of taking over the world in many ways is artificial intelligence. Every big company is working on a new sort of artificial intelligence project, or I guess application. It's based on what's called neural networks. They've essentially been able to create a virtual mind rather than a virtual brain, I would say. Operates similar to how a brain would operate. But basically, they don't really have to, once they have the neural network in place, they can train it to do almost anything. So they don't necessarily have to program like a specific task, but they just train it using data. like how they did with the Waymo cars. I think some of you guys have seen on my channel that I took a ride in the driverless Waymo cars. And the way they did that is they created a neural network, embedded it in the car, and then they drove the car around. Human beings drove the car around the city of San Francisco for thousands of hours. And as they were doing this, the car was collecting all kinds of data. It was remembering everything. So the way they train these neural networks is they drive around like for a driverless car, and it collects all the data and it remembers. So it sees, oh, the driver stops every time it sees a stop sign, so maybe I'll stop whenever I see a stop sign. Or it goes whenever it sees a green light, so that means I'll go whenever I see a green light. Or it stops whenever it sees a cat or a dog in the street, so now I need to stop whenever it sees a cat. So it remembers. And so it's quite a different and sort of groundbreaking. It is a groundbreaking, absolutely groundbreaking technology, where you don't have to necessarily program individual tasks. You just train a car, and it can do all the tasks through memory somehow. And when I say somehow, it's really all mathematics. Computers can't really think in anything other than numbers. And so they use very advanced algebra known as matrix algebra and very advanced calculus. Well, not very advanced calculus, basic calculus. Calculus itself is already pretty advanced. And they put those two things together along with statistical analysis in order to develop neural networks. It's complicated, but I have taken a course in it, so I kind of know the basics. As we approach this beautiful outdoor escalator that's going to take us back to the parking lot.
Good morning. Welcome to the one, the only on the West Coast, Google Visitors.
Yes, thank you, sir. Beautiful campus. Likewise. Have a happy Friday, sir. Super nice guy there, and welcoming everyone to the Google Visitor Experience as we head down this beautiful outdoor escalator to the visitor parking lot. There you go. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this walk through the Googleplex, Google's fancy headquarters here in Mountain View, California. Please remember to like and subscribe, hit those notifications for when I go live, and I also have memberships on your channel if you're interested. Check out those. And we will see you on the next one, everyone. All right, bye for now.